Have you ever wondered why some women exert an inexplicable magnetism over men, while others, even being beautiful and intelligent, fail to awaken the same lasting interest? Carl Jung, the revolutionary Swiss psychoanalyst, dedicated decades to studying the archetypes of love and human attraction, and his discoveries reveal profound truths about what really makes a man fall genuinely in love. If this content is resonating with you, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate notifications. Your journey of self-knowledge deserves this small gesture of care for yourself. Jung discovered that male love is not awakened by the superficial tricks that society teaches us, but by deep archetypal qualities that touch the male collective unconscious. Today, we will explore 5 of these transformative qualities that, when authentically developed, create genuine and lasting magnetic attraction. Prepare to discover not just what men desire, but primarily who you can become to attract the love you truly deserve. First reason. Carl Jung revolutionized our understanding of the human psyche by introducing the concept of shadow. Those parts of our personality that we reject or hide for fear of social judgment. For women, the integration of the shadow represents one of the most powerful transformations they can experience, especially when it comes to attracting genuine love. Modern society has taught women that they must always be sweet, understanding, and agreeable to be loved. Jung discovered that this suppression of the complete personality creates two-dimensional women who, although they may seem perfect on the surface, fail to awaken genuine passion in men. The Galatea effect theory, extensively studied in modern psychology, demonstrates how our expectations about ourselves shape our reality. When a woman embraces all aspects of her personality, including her assertiveness, her natural sensuality, her ability to say no, and even her anger when appropriate, she activates what Jung called the integrated feminine. This integration creates a fascinating phenomenon in the male unconscious. Men are biologically programmed to seek partners who demonstrate emotional complexity and authenticity, as this indicates psychological maturity and the ability to produce emotionally balanced offspring, an evolutionary vestige that remains active in our primitive brain. Recent research from Stanford University revealed that when a woman demonstrates complete emotional authenticity, dopamine levels in the male brain increase significantly during interactions. This happens because the male brain interprets emotional complexity as a sign that the woman is capable of sophisticated social navigation and possesses abundant emotional resources. When you hide your shadow, you inadvertently signal emotional scarcity. Men perceive, albeit unconsciously, that you are playing a role instead of being authentic. This activates primitive alarm centers in the male brain, creating a subtle sense of distrust that sabotages intimacy. Jung suggested a powerful exercise. Identify 3 characteristics of yours that you consider unacceptable for a woman. Perhaps it's your tendency to be too direct, your natural competitiveness, or your need for time alone. Now, observe how these characteristics, when expressed with awareness and at the appropriate moment, can be your greatest strengths. The woman who can be vulnerable and strong, sweet and assertive, understanding and capable of establishing boundaries becomes irresistible because she represents the totality of the feminine archetype. She is not predictable, and conscious unpredictability is one of the greatest aphrodisiacs for the male brain. This integration doesn't mean being aggressive or dramatic. It means being completely yourself, with all the nuances and complexities that implies. When a man perceives that you're not trying to impress him or please him at any cost, but simply being authentic, he experiences what Jung called archetypal recognition, the sensation of having found a genuinely mature and fascinating woman. Second reason. One of the biggest mistakes modern women make in relationships is believing that intimacy means total transparency. Carl Jung discovered that lasting love thrives in the creative tension between revelation and mystery, between proximity and individuality. What he called conscious mystery has nothing to do with mind games or manipulation, but with preserving your individual essence within the relationship. Parental investment theory, developed by evolutionary biologist Robert Trivers, explains why men are naturally attracted to women who maintain a sense of personal mystery. From an evolutionary standpoint, men invest significant resources in relationships and are biologically programmed to value partners who demonstrate independence and their own resources. When a woman reveals everything about herself too quickly, her fears, traumas, dreams, and vulnerabilities, she inadvertently deactivates the male conquest system. The primitive male brain interprets this as a sign that she doesn't possess sufficient internal resources or adequate self-esteem, which reduces her perceived value as a long-term partner. The principle of revelation. Jung observed that the most magnetic women naturally practiced what he called graduated revelation. They shared aspects of their personality and history in an organic way appropriate to the level of intimacy in the relationship, always maintaining layers of depth to be explored. This doesn't mean being false or hiding important aspects of who you are. It means recognizing that you are a complex and multifaceted human being, and that revealing this complexity is a gift that should be offered gradually, as trust and intimacy naturally develop. Neuroimaging studies conducted at Harvard University have demonstrated that the male brain releases larger amounts of noradrenaline, the neurotransmitter associated with focus and pursuit, when interacting with women who maintain a sense of individuality and personal mystery. This neurobiological response is fundamental to keeping passion alive in long-term relationships. Conscious mystery activates what neuroscientists call the intermittent reward system in the male brain. Just like in gambling, the uncertainty about what he will discover next about you keeps dopamine levels elevated and sustains romantic interest. A woman who practices conscious mystery might share that she loves art, but not necessarily immediately reveal that she spent years studying painting in Paris. She might mention that she values spiritual growth, but keep her personal meditative practices to herself until the relationship matures enough to accommodate that intimacy. Conscious mystery also manifests in maintaining your own activities, friendships, and interests. When you have a rich and independent life, you naturally preserve aspects of yourself that will continue to intrigue and fascinate your partner over time. Jung made a crucial distinction between healthy mystery and destructive secrets. Secrets are information hidden out of shame or fear, while mystery is the natural preservation of your depth and complexity. A mysterious woman doesn't hide who she is. She simply recognizes that she is a constantly evolving person, with infinite layers of experience and wisdom to be discovered. This type of mystery also includes maintaining your own connection with your dreams, intuitions, and inner life. When a man perceives that you have a rich emotional and spiritual life that doesn't completely depend on him, this activates his conqueror and protector instinct, making him want to strive to deserve access to these deeper aspects of who you are. Third reason. Carl Jung identified emotional sovereignty as one of the most attractive and rare qualities a woman can develop. It's the ability to regulate your own emotions, find peace in your own company, and not need constant external validation to feel complete. This quality awakens in men what Jung called desire for conscious fusion, the longing to unite with someone who is complete in herself. There is a fascinating paradox in the psychology of love. The more emotionally independent a woman becomes, the more desirable she becomes for deep and meaningful relationships. This happens because emotional sovereignty signals to the male brain that any relationship with this woman will be based on genuine choice, not desperate need. Self-determination theory, developed by psychologists Edward Deci and Richard Ryan, demonstrates that human beings are naturally attracted to partners who demonstrate emotional autonomy. When a woman possesses emotional sovereignty, she eliminates the pressure that often suffocates relationships and creates space for love to flourish organically. Women who emotionally depend on their partners for emotional regulation frequently operate in elevated states of cortisol, the stress hormone. This biochemical state creates a vicious cycle. The more you need reassurance, the more anxious you become, and the more anxious you become, the more you need reassurance. Men have a natural biological sensitivity to female cortisol levels. Studies from the University of Chicago revealed that men unconsciously detect signs of chronic stress in women through subtle cues, such as changes in voice tone, body tension, and communication patterns. Elevated levels of female cortisol activate the male fight-or-flight system, creating a sense of discomfort that sabotages intimacy. Jung recommended that women develop what he called the ritual of inner peace, daily practices that connect them with their own source of emotional stability. This can include meditation, therapeutic writing, walks in nature, or any activity that helps them process emotions independently. An especially powerful practice is what Jung called dialogue with inner wisdom. Before seeking external advice on emotionally charged situations, spend 20 minutes in silent reflection, asking yourself, What does my deepest wisdom have to say about this? This practice strengthens your connection with your intuition and reduces dependence on external validation. When a woman develops emotional sovereignty, she strengthens the neural connections between the prefrontal cortex, responsible for rational thinking, and the limbic system, responsible for emotions. This neurological integration creates what neuroscientists call emotional coherence, a state where thoughts, emotions, and actions are aligned. Men are biologically attracted to this emotional coherence because it signals stability and psychological maturity. When you don't react dramatically to every setback or seek constant reassurance, you activate what Jung called archetypal admiration in the male unconscious. An emotionally sovereign woman is not easily offended because she possesses a solid sense of self-esteem. She can hear criticism without falling apart or becoming defensive. She can be alone without feeling abandoned or lonely. She can support her partner in difficult times without absorbing his emotions as if they were her own. This doesn't mean being cold or disconnected. It means having emotional roots so deep that you can move through life's storms while maintaining your center. When a man perceives that you possess this inner stability, he not only feels romantically attracted, but also experiences a sense of emotional security that allows him to be more vulnerable and authentic. Jung observed that emotionally sovereign women exert a magnetic effect on men because they represent the possibility of a relationship based on emotional abundance instead of scarcity. When you are your own emotional refuge, any love you share becomes a genuine gift instead of a desperate need. Fourth reason. Carl Jung revolutionized our understanding of human communication by revealing that much of our interactions happen at the archetypal level, through symbols, energies, and unconscious patterns that transcend words. Women who master archetypal communication can speak directly to the male unconscious, creating deep connections that go far beyond superficial conversation. The 4 archetypes of feminine communication. Jung identified 4 main archetypes of feminine communication that deeply resonate with the male unconscious: the wise woman, the nurturer, the lover, and the warrior. Magnetic women intuitively alternate between these archetypes depending on the situation, creating a rich and multidimensional communicative experience. The wise woman communicates through deep insights and perspectives that help the man see situations in a new light. The nurturer offers emotional support and encouragement without judgment. The lover expresses herself through sensual femininity and genuine admiration. The warrior establishes clear boundaries and defends her values with firm grace. One of the most fascinating aspects of archetypal communication is its ability to create what Jung called positive cognitive dissonance in the male brain. This happens when a woman combines seemingly contradictory qualities in her communication, being simultaneously sweet and strong, vulnerable and confident, receptive and challenging. Neuroimaging studies from Stanford University demonstrated that this combination of qualities activates multiple regions of the male brain simultaneously, creating a state of neurological fascination. The male brain is evolutionarily programmed to value complexity in potential partners, as this indicates adaptive versatility. One of the most powerful skills of archetypal communication is unconscious emotional mirroring. This doesn't mean imitating male behavior, but rather tuning into the man's underlying emotional state and responding in a way that honors and complements that energy. If he's stressed about work, instead of immediately trying to fix the situation, an archetypally conscious woman first recognizes and validates his emotional experience. She might say something like, "I can feel the weight you're carrying. Your dedication is really impressive." This creates a safe emotional space where he can process his feelings without feeling judged or pressured. Jung discovered that the male unconscious is deeply nourished by specific and well-articulated admiration. This is completely different from generic compliments or empty flattery. Specific admiration recognizes particular qualities, efforts, or achievements in a way that demonstrates genuine attention and deep understanding. Instead of saying, "You're amazing," an archetypally conscious woman might say, "The way you kept your calm during that difficult meeting today, even when everyone was losing their patience, really showed your natural leadership." This type of specific recognition activates what neuroscientists call the social reward circuit in the male brain. The male unconscious is especially receptive to symbolic and metaphorical communication. When a woman uses images, stories, or analogies to communicate important points, She accesses deeper layers of the male psyche than purely logical communication could reach. For example, instead of directly saying, "I need more attention," an archetypally conscious woman might share, "Sometimes I feel like a flower that needs both sun and water to fully bloom." This symbolic approach allows the man to reach his own conclusions and take actions that seem to come from his own initiative. Archetypal communication also involves a refined sense of emotional timing. Jung observed that there are specific moments when the male unconscious is more open to deep communication, usually after experiences of success, during moments of relaxation, or in natural environments that activate meditative states. Intuitively attuned women recognize these moments and take advantage of these windows of opportunity to share important thoughts, feelings, or concerns. They also recognize when the man is in a state of internal processing and know when to give space instead of pressing for communication. A particularly powerful technique of archetypal communication is the art of asking questions that inspire self-reflection and personal revelation. Instead of asking questions that can be answered with yes or no, archetypally conscious women ask questions that invite exploration. What was most meaningful to you about that experience? Or, how does this connect with your bigger dreams? These questions activate what Jung called the transcendent function, the psyche's ability to integrate conscious and unconscious contents. When a man feels truly seen and understood through this type of deep communication, he develops an emotional bond that goes far beyond superficial attraction. Fifth reason. Carl Jung identified that there is an indefinable quality in certain women that transcends physical appearance, social status, or external achievements. He called this magnetic presence, an emanated energy that literally transforms the quality of the environments they occupy. This presence is built through a unique combination of conscious presence, balanced vital energy, and deep connection with one's own life purpose. Recent research in neuroscience and quantum physics has begun to scientifically validate what Jung intuited about human presence. The HeartMath Institute has demonstrated that the human heart produces an electromagnetic field 60 times larger than that of the brain, and that this field can be detected several meters away. When a woman cultivates magnetic presence, she literally alters the brainwave patterns of people around her, through the coherence of her own electromagnetic field. This explains why some women can calm tense environments simply by entering the space, or why other people feel naturally attracted to their company, even without being able to explain why. The 5 pillars of magnetic presence. Jung identified 5 fundamental elements that compose feminine magnetic presence. Conscious presence, the ability to be completely present in the current moment without mental or emotional distractions. This requires mindfulness practice and the development of what Jung called unitive attention, a form of awareness that integrates mind, body, and spirit. Balanced vital energy, a state of physical and emotional vitality that comes from proper care of the body, emotions, and spiritual life. Women with magnetic presence radiate health and vitality because they honor all dimensions of their being. Connection with purpose, a clear understanding of their deepest values and the impact they wish to have in the world. This connection with purpose creates a sense of direction and meaning that others can intuitively feel. Radiant compassion, the ability to see and honor the humanity in other people, regardless of their flaws or limitations. This quality creates a safe emotional space where others feel accepted and valued. Spiritual mystery, a connection with deeper dimensions of existence that creates an aura of mystery and reverence. This doesn't mean being religious in the traditional sense, but rather cultivating an awareness of the sacredness of life. When a woman cultivates genuine magnetic presence, she activates multiple neurobiological systems in the male brain simultaneously. Her state of conscious presence activates mirror neurons, creating a sense of attunement and connection. Her balanced vital energy stimulates the production of serotonin and dopamine, creating feelings of well-being and pleasure. Her connection with purpose activates the prefrontal cortex, inspiring elevated thoughts and aspirations. The most fascinating aspect is that this attraction happens completely below the threshold of consciousness. The man simply feels inexplicably good in her presence, without being able to identify exactly why. Jung explained that this happens because magnetic presence speaks directly to the deepest archetypes of the male unconscious. Embodied presence. Meditation. Dedicate 15 minutes daily to the practice of being completely present in your body. Feel your feet on the ground, your breath in your chest, your heart beating. This practice develops what Jung called embodied consciousness, the union between spirit and matter. Vital energy ritual. Create a daily ritual that honors all dimensions of your being. This can include physical movement that you love, mindful eating, time in nature, and moments of contemplative silence. The goal is to keep your energy field clean and vibrant. Purpose journal. Keep a journal where you regularly explore your deepest motivations, core values, and the way you wish to contribute to the world. This practice keeps you connected with your purpose and radiates that clarity through your presence. Jung made a crucial distinction between authentic magnetic presence and social performance. Magnetic presence comes from an internal state of fullness and authenticity, while performance comes from a desire to impress or please others. Authentic presence is sustainable and attractive, while performance is exhausting and eventually transparent. Women with genuine magnetic presence aren't trying to be something they're not. They have simply developed all dimensions of who they naturally are. They radiate a quality of emotional home that makes others feel safe to be authentic too. The deepest aspect of magnetic presence is its transformational effect on both the woman herself and the people around her. Jung observed that when a woman cultivates authentic magnetic presence, she doesn't just attract men, she inspires the best in them. Her presence invites others to rise to their own highest version. This quality creates relationships based on mutual growth and inspiration, instead of dependence or drama. When a man falls in love with a woman with genuine magnetic presence, he falls in love not just with her, but with the higher version of himself that he becomes in her presence. These 5 reasons revealed by Carl Jung, shadow integration, conscious mystery, emotional sovereignty, archetypal communication, and magnetic presence, are not tricks or strategies to manipulate the male heart. They are invitations for you to become the most complete and authentic version of yourself. Jung understood that true love cannot be forced or won through mind games. It naturally flourishes when 2 people meet at the deepest level of their authentic humanity. When you develop these qualities, you not only become irresistible to the right kind of man, you become a woman who deserves and attracts the love you dream of. Remember, the goal is not to change who you are, but to reveal and develop all the magnificent facets of who you naturally are. Each of these 5 reasons already exists in potential within you, waiting to be awakened and cultivated. If this content touched something deep in you, share it with other women who are on this journey of self-discovery. And in the comments, tell me, which of these 5 reasons resonates most deeply with you at this moment in your life? Your answer may inspire other women in their own journey of transformation. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel, it will help us a lot. And remember, the love you seek is seeking you too. When you become who you truly are, it finds you. Until the next video.